You'll find the Apple image in your Working Files folder, and we'll use it to explore some of the surface control commands. Let's start with Apply Lighting. You've got a number of presets that allow you to choose the one you like, and maybe then you can tweak some of the variables. There we have Warm Globe. I can change these values on the directional lighting sliders. I can change the color of the light. Let's make it a rosy pink. I can even change the nature of ambient light. If I find a combination that I like, I can save it as a preset using this add icon. I can also add an additional light by simply tapping on the preview. I can move the angle of that light, I can alter its position, and I can, of course, change its characteristics. I'll cancel that, and we'll move on to Apply Screen, and let me just reset that. Green, white, and black are the default colors, but you can change all of them, and I'll change that to dark red. I'll make white a pink, and the black a dark blue. So here we have a new combination. We can use paper, and the paper library is available, so you can switch to a different paper at any time. Let's also look at the other options. You can use the brightness of pixels in the image as the source, or original luminance. Original luminance always refers to the clone source if you have one, or the current pattern. Cancel that. Notice that the last two effects that you applied are at the top of the menu, so that makes it easy to go back to recent effects. But we'll go down again to Surface Control and look at Apply Surface Texture. This is going to be based on paper that you can select from the paper menu. 3D brush strokes is added to this list, and it's very similar to original luminance. I'll go back to paper here. You can change the amount of depth or the shine. Also, a number of lighting controls, so brightness, concentration, exposure, and again, the color of the light. And let's just cancel that. Back to color overlay. And here you can choose your color. Let's choose orange. And you can choose the opacity of the effect. You can work with paper, image luminance, or original luminance, or uniform color. We can simply go to the paper library at the bottom of the toolbox and choose our paper from that source. Cancel that. So we go now to dye concentration. I will choose paper. We have a couple of sliders here for that effect. And I think one of the advantages of using dye concentration is that the white background in this case is not affected. So let's go to Express Texture, which is going to give you a black and white effect. And you can again choose from paper or image luminance or original luminance. I'll stick with paper. And I don't see the paper swatch here, but I can go to my paper library at the bottom of the toolbox and select from there. I think I'll choose basic paper this time, and we can create just the right threshold and just the right amount of grain until we have what we like. Cancel that. I'm going to switch from the apple to a portrait of Paul. We'll put that in full screen mode. With this image as our subject, we'll go back and look at Image Warp. Image Warp tells us to drag in the document to distort the image. By default, this is the setting, 50% linear. And if I do this to the nose, I get a little distortion there. Move the mouth and the eye, and we've got a very different facial expression here. I'll reset that. Let's try cubic. Let's do some other things here. And I'll reset sphere, increase that. I don't like that at all. And I'll cancel it. Going back again to the menu for surface control, Quick Warp is going to give you more of a global kind of effect. Bump appears to be bloating the face, and let's see what happens when we go close to the right. Let's try Valley, see what that does, and that's going to be more like a pinch effect. Swirl will enable us to twist that face around, and a ripple is a very interesting distortion. Cancel all of that. Go again to Surface Control, and we find Woodcut next on the list. Woodcut is a kind of print. You've got a choice between black and color. Let's see what it looks like with only color. It's more or less a posterized image. With black only, this is what you get, and with black and color, this is a pretty interesting combination. And you've got some sliders here for changing the way these things are going to look. Once you've decided your values, you can apply that. We're going to cancel. And now let's look at the sketch effect at the bottom of the list. You can apply a number of variables for getting a rather delicate black and white version. Let's just click OK here. And I'm going to use the Edit Fade command to bring back some of the color because I quite like the combination of a tint as well as this interesting grainy kind of sketch effect that we got from the Surface Controls sketch effect. Let's take a break at this point, and when we come back, we're going to be looking at the Esoterica group of effects.